John Colo with GrowingYourGreens.com to do another exciting episode for him. Just about to get a delivery from the Boogie Brew Company in their brand new e-van, right? Delivering sustainably and ecologically, not polluting the atmosphere with CO2 like all the carbon emission cars and diesel trucks out there. Anyways, we're waiting for them to drive up any second now. All right, so here's Leah with the Boogie e-van.
Hi, John. We brought you the compost and biochar too.
All right, awesome. I can't wait. Let's check it out. Josh, get the hell out. I need my soil, man. What are you doing?
Hey, bro.
Dude, what the hell are you doing? Oh my gosh, look at this. He's hotboxing his Boogie van.
Dude, man.
Josh, what the hell? I want my soil.
Bro, it's 420. I'm trying to...
This is really Josh right here, man, in the flesh. He ain't joking. He is a freaking...
Why do you think Leah was driving, dude? I'm trying to hotbox my van, bro.
Dude, I don't want to in my
420,
face.
right,
So
dude?
can some Boogie viewers come down and hotbox with you?
It's perfect for that. How do you think we survived the road trips? Like when we came to Heirloom Show last year, you know, and we were stopping in we had a bunk bed over like 4 trade show booths. The nice thing is, it's got this like power pack, you know, so I can power a little mini split or little AC, you know, or heater thing, and I can keep it nice back here until JK comes and kills my buzz.
Dude, so what do you got for me today, man?
I got you some killer compost, courtesy of Nicasio's finest, West Marin, our old buddy, what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, you know his name.
I don't remember.
The Dutch genius
No, I
that
know,
ran
I know
Sonoma
he
Compost.
is. I don't, yeah, he makes good stuff, man.
And I want to thank one of my Boogie customers, whose name I'm too stoned to remember, but he's a Boogie ambassador that referred me to them and was like, go check them out again. You know, it's been a couple of years since COVID, since I was there. And man, you know, they've upped their game. They got biochar now, and the best compost I've seen for a minute. Like,
wow, look at this char, man. Josh,
Dude,
this is
yeah.
the bomb. Look at that, nice and black. It's not super
You know
dry
what?
either, dude, so it's not going to, like, make a lot of dust like most chars,
it's
dude.
great. Leah and I, they couldn't believe it. We did so we took inspiration from your episode years ago where you filled a GTI or TDI, your little
My golf.
Volkswagen
Yeah,
Golf
link
hatch.
down below to that original video where I go to Sonoma Compost and
Yeah.
fill it up in bags and then put it in my car.
Look at the carbon content on that.
That's badass.
And it smells great. You know, years ago when Leah and I started Boogie Brew, she's actually got the nose. You know how I always say, a nose will tell you more than a $10,000 microscope. And she can always sniff out the killer soil bio. You know, me, I'm like, yeah, I could make love to good soil.
So, dude, you're gonna have a new char. You're gonna sell this as your new char product, huh?
Well, as a sustainably sourced, local, West Marin orchard hardwood where no sprays are ever
That's
done.
a hardwood.
Hardwood char,
Nice.
of course, you know, orchard, like, oh yeah, dude. Come on, man. It's like where organic farming started. Their customers won't accept second rate. You know, even the non-vegan compost that they make, they're using the microbes from really healthy cows out in Point Reyes, where there's no herbicides, you know, there's no plastic in the air there, right? And the crappy compost from cows is the ones that are factory farmed. That's where you get the root aphids that will infect entire company soil lines, you know. But when you have like sustainably, like Booze is awesome, by the way. Shout out to Booze. Like Booze inspired us years ago with teas. Booze, that's the same as the West Marin, and the cows secrete a microbe in their guts that no other place in nature when they're fed sustainably, free range, you know, all conditions. You know, as soon as you introduce a chemotocracy into the equation, with GMO-fed feedstock, cows packed together in antibiotic ovens or whatever the heck, you know, the most...
All the microbes.
Yeah, and the fear hormones that they're secreting, like, who wants that, you know? And who wants any animal slaughterhouse byproducts in anything they're farming with, quite frankly. To me, it's the second worst thing to the detrients themselves. You know, you have soil over oil, but you also need a living soil over a shitty, you know,
And a
like
clean soil.
antibiotic crap filled,
Yeah.
you know, like just a horrible food chain, you know, of God knows what, of chemotocracy's feedstock, you know, inhumane, horrific horrors of, go see what foods you eat from the supermarket, how they're actually made, go see how the, you know, compost or the feather meal or whatever it is, the animal slaughterhouse byproducts, you know, from like your Build a Soil buddy, you know, will tell you about the scams that are out there, and anything animal slaughterhouse related is yeah. Anyways, I'm already digressing.
All right, dude, you're 2 stones. So
Yeah, no,
show
I
me the
got-
compost,
yeah.
man. I want to see the compost.
where is
All right, Josh, so tell me what's up with this new compost you got. It's really nice, man.
It's not
really
new.
neutral, and it's like, look at this. Nice, rich, dark, nice organic matter. Not a whole lot of junk in there. Screened out to a nice, what, 1/4 inch or something, man. This is really good compost, man. I gotta get a couple bags for sure.
Oh, we brought you a bunch. I mean, this is all for donation. In fact, I'm going to bring some to Super Seth's tomorrow. You're going to be seeing him, right? For post 420.
Super Seth.
Yeah, and
then you're gonna start selling this stuff or what?
no, this is just
Oh, so you guys can't even get this compost.
No, there's not enough of it.
Ah.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
sad.
good. You know, yeah, this is what
I'm glad you got me some and delivering in the E van.
Yeah, and I heard you like it so much. You just said to me that that you're going to be flying with it back.
Wait, I'm gonna take a bag of this back with me on the airplane. I get free checked luggage, so I'm like, what the heck?
We went to
It can't weigh over 40 pounds though. I'm flying on Spirit.
So from the orchards of West Marin
to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and
dude, this will be the best soil in Vegas. I'm not joking, dude.
We went out of our way to load it.
This is craft compost right here, dude.
Isn't that nice?
Really nice.
You always
stuff.
hear me say I could make love to good soil.
This is craft
Isn't
compost.
That nice?
That's nice compost.
It is so good. We are even going to bring some up to Humboldt, which is crazy because we have our own bulk boogie base and wood chip boogie hummus compost up there. But this is some good stuff from West Marin, and when you sniff it out, like I was saying, Leah has that nose, and so we got to work, and the dude was like challenging us. Like it was like
so he brought it in the dumper loader. He just put it in a pile. Then you had to bag it up to put it in the truck. Right?
They don't have
a van.
hopper. It's a pretty small facility, and God bless them for even making it happen, and for the powers that be in Marin County for the regulatory. Usually a compost facility. I mean, I remember going and meeting our Dutch genius friend who started Sonoma Compost, and it was located there behind the dumps, you know. And here we are 10 years later, and
more than 10, dude.
12? Well, since the video, but 10 for me since I met the dude.
I see. I've met him long
Yeah,
before
no,
then.
and you know, it's such a clean, tight. It kind of reminds me of Boogie Brew
Because he's made it better.
Lean, mean, clean, green team. You know, less is more.
I mean, dude, this compost is it's similar to the stuff that I filled all my raised beds with here.
Yeah.
And like I basically put rock dust, this, and I was off to maybe a little bit of worm castings in the beginning.
It was so good. We knew. I mean, the main expense was on Leah's day off. You know, we're over there on Friday
Shoveling
afternoon.
it up.
Yeah, but filling up these because they don't have a hopper. They don't have
And
totes.
and because you don't have a truck and you have an E-van, right? You load things in the bags to load it in your van, so then you could travel with it instead of just dumping it in a truck, right?
Yeah, but
so is that more or less work, Josh?
Less.
Why?
I have a truck, and I haven't put fuel in it or driven it in 3 years.
That's a diesel truck, right?
It's our diesel with a big lift on the back, and
it's for sale, right? You're selling it.
Well, I need to get off my ass and sell it. Yeah.
Anybody want a big diesel truck with a Liftgate on it, right?
Really good. It's a great truck if you're into fuel. And this is gonna. All right. So we're getting into transport talk here, and you know, is an EV a big green lie or not? I don't care if it is or not. In many ways, it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's certainly not sustainable. That's why I have stickers on all my bikes that say "Live Free or Drive." Driving anything, even that new Aptera, is anything but sustainable when you consider the resources. And the real shame is that, you know, we don't have a railroad system anymore that I could get this stuff on, you know? And that's one of the big benefits to Petaluma on the Smart Train, and where I got my soy meal, you know, rail delivered to this one feedlot that happens to have a rail terminal. And that's like, I told them, you're the future. That's, even though I showed up in the event, but, okay, so $40, 4,000 pounds, 400 miles. Like, that's the thing. Even my Dodge,
how many miles?
even our dually, because it had the
Go over
lift
that
on
again.
Okay, so when I go to Humboldt,
You go to Humboldt.
yeah, to pick up bulk castings, boogie base, because we
Okay.
still ship from Roanoke Park.
Yeah.
Bring the van,
Yep.
and
You load it up with how many pounds?
almost 4,000.
4,000 pounds, and then
That's what this is rated to hold.
Okay.
So I could pass the scale. It's like 3,800.
All right.
Yeah.
And then how much electricity does it cost you? And how many miles is it?
It's 200 each way.
So 400 miles.
400 miles.
4,000 pounds.
I mean, you round it up, give or
Yeah,
take. Yeah, I mean,
right,
honestly,
right.
for legal purposes, let's say yes. There's the scales, but with a van, you're an immaculate church of the metal low profile
Yeah.
fossil. You don't even need to stop. But why would I overload this van? I mean, 38 Hyundai is still more than any Cybertruck, any Rivian, any other e-truck, even the other e-vans that are coming out. The only thing this gives up is its range. It has a 68 kilowatt hour range, which is the same as your bolt, as our Boogie bolts. You know, a compact hatch, right?
Wow, so that means you get less mileage.
Way less, 140.
Wow, so you have to charge more often. So how much does charging cost you to go to Humboldt and back?
So it's about $4 at the Boogie Barn at our property, where we, you know, because it's weekends was when we go there, and it's overnight, cheapest PG&E
$4.
rate. $4 in, but then the one stop we have to make in like Laytonville, it's like $20 each way.
Oh, $20 total.
Well, or 18 actually. I did the math when I drove
then?
like now PG&E, because of the fires and the lawsuits and the corruption, they just like it went from 35 cents a kilowatt hour. I kid you not, now it's 65.
Wow.
Like you drive a Tesla, you drive.
Well, I get free charging for life on the Tesla.
You drive a Boogie Me Down, Leah's old white Bolt, and that's a killer car, right?
That's a killer car.
And we used to take 2 of those to Humboldt, and they'll hold a lot. If you take the EVs with their battery chassis, you know, and the low weight, right? And then you maximize that again on top with a weight load and just one person driving. We used to take 2 bolts, and they cost less, of course, because they don't need to charge. It's like 220, 250 miles of range. And we put about 1,000 pounds in each. Taking a cue from you. It's just the EV version, the big green live version for you oil lovers.
4 trips versus 1 trip in this for the same capacity.
Correct. See, yeah.
So this saves you a lot of time.
Exactly. And this charges faster than the bolts. Those only do a 50 kilowatt.
Yeah, dude, the charging sucks on the bolts.
Yeah, but it's perfect for around town.
And for around town, it's perfect.
And even for going to the Bay Area, for what we do.
Yeah, for you guys, For long trips, it blows, trust me.
Well, compared to your Model S.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, I mean, but remember, no matter how good the new batteries are, and some of them are getting really good with hardly any, you know, of the toxic, like they have the lithium iron phosphate. Now, if you can get the lithium from, you know, like the most toxic place without then poor Los Angeles, if that lake, that Salton Sea were to dry up, it would then pose a threat from its dust. Not from the lithium that's in that.
Well, that's happening at like Salt Lake City.
But there's so much lithium,
the Salt Lake City lake, and that's just drying up and then causing toxin.
And you do have to think about these things. And you know, Leah, when you got the Boogie Bowl, those ones still have the nickel in them. So anyway, but you got 100,000 miles on that one, and that's still got like a full efficiency. You should probably be able to get 500,000 miles out of them. And there's companies that are figuring out how to recycle them. I'm not trying to justify. But keeping me from being divorced, you know, a wife-friendly maximum payload for kilowatt hours for cost, and keeping it down for our customers, you guys, which is why we're working on our new bulk.
Yeah, so you guys can't get this compost, but you can get this. So what do you got here, Josh? Boogie Bio, and this is an all-new box to save you guys even more money, right? Everybody's raising their prices in this economy. Josh is now going to be lowering his price and shipping you guys more effectively due to shipping costs also went up for Josh. So Josh, what's up with this box? How's this going to save people money?
Well, I mean, after 12 years of, you're the one that got us started on the board game boxes.
That are now discontinued.
With freaking rock dust. And I'm convinced that we're part of the reason why the Postal Service decided those weren't, you know, the priority mail board game boxes weren't even available. They stopped around COVID time, a year or two after that. So we've had to improvise, and luckily, I guess our product's good enough that people don't seem to mind waiting a few more days, because it's all ground now. We don't do priority, except for like a water filter by itself in a padded envelope. Pretty much 99.9% now. And so the problem with the ground is it's a great deal no matter where you ship, but it's a 20-pound limit. So this 10-10-10 with a BioBag liner, see?
So you're going to maximize the volume of product in there, because you have basically have a really BioBag liner that you could compost actually.
Right, and most of you need to swing by the Boogie office, our shipping
headquarters.
Yeah, and check out the all new Boogie boxes, the Boogie base, of course, the Hummus and everything, even Sucanop. whatever you can fit. 20 pounds.
You're going to be
Everything's a 20
shipping
pound
them
box.
just like this in this box here, filled up to the
Filled
rim.
up with, we might do, like on the bio box, it won't be 20, it'll be about 18, 19 pounds of biochar. And that leaves room for what we believe you should activate your char with, the Boogie base with Sukana. I know you told me, we've been arguing about this, the French trust the people who squabble publicly and sort of poop out the best of frenemies. He says, feed it Boogie Brew tea. I say, you know, that's overkill. That's like me. You know, you don't need such an over-the-top recipe for inoculating your biochar, bro. And then if people are buying 20-pound boxes of bulk ingredients, they might want to store them for a while. So if I throw a sample 1-part tea, because I'm certainly not going to do a smaller, you know, 2-part tea. This is the best I can do on a good option for just keeping the microbes, you know, or colonizing, I mean, for giving a great dose of carbon digesters to that carbon home, to that carbon hotel, that carbon colony. A really good char, make it a supercharged, you know, but you don't need to use something with all these foods in it, such a protein-rich recipe, and also one that's so active.
Or you could just pee on your char, actually.
There's so many ways to activate your char.
You could just mix it in with your compost pile, then have it pre-inoculated, and it's just going in there. So, like, it's definitely not the best to just add it to your soil and mix it in. I mean, that could be all right. But you want to try to activate it first. Like, link down below to my video where I show how to activate it, actually, with Josiah Hunt in Hawaii.
There's so many. I mean, and then look what OGS does with their real super char, which is the worm's pee goes on their char, you know. So if you have a worm bin, you know, get some of that worm runoff. I'm sweating back here, bro. Sitting here after 420, on 420, happy 420. On a warm weekend for me, this is like cool for you.
This is cool. 20 degrees cooler than I would be expecting today otherwise.
The great British weapon of conversation. Come on, have a cup of tea, chat about the weather. In this case, I'm telling you to make a few cups of Boogie Brew tea, a Boogie base, a workhorse recipe tea. And what we'll do is, you know, since you're saving a 20 pounds bio bag, right, the world doesn't need more plastic. Now, we've been using these for years, 100% compostable. And previously,
I compost mine every single time, Josh. I shred it and then compost it. I take out the strip, though.
But you're still supporting the factory farming industry because this liner is a polylactate. There is a milk
made out of, dude?
A starch.
Oh, a starch.
Yes.
Like cornstarch.
A non-GMO starch.
All right.
Leah's a good shopper. So why do you think I married her?
Certified for home composting.
Exactly. So, and most of the boogie ingredients, if you're buying these, you want to get a Boogie Bro deal on how we're beating inflation, how we're keeping, like everyone's like, because for sure we're not getting wealthy. But, you know, as I always say, the emotional currency, that's where boogies, like we're boogie billionaires, thanks to you all. And so we want to keep trying harder to give people an honest price. And it doesn't have to always be the over-the-top ingredients like a 20-pound box of Boogie Base. A Boogie Boost. And if it's a 20-pound box of Boogie Base, then it becomes a workhorse box. How does it become a workhorse box? With 16 pounds of the Boogie Base in a box this size. We'll go over this when you come by.
All right,
and then 4 more pounds of Sukana. Because I really want people to use more simple ingredients yet than what I currently sell in my sexy tea recipe. Because it's just not needed for inoculating biochar. It's the exact same answer I give to everybody that asks me, should I use Boogie Brew to inoculate my biochar?
I would.
So I know you would, but you get the
But do you need to?
You don't. No, it's less is more. You just need a great vermi tea, get this compost, you know. You don't even need to make a tea. You don't even need to make a tea. You could just slurry this up into a liquid and mix it all in by hand and then sprinkle some sugar in there. The microbes will still start to feast. You should do a side-by-side. Take a Boogie box, a bio, run it without even aerating it. You know, I'm too stoned today to brew tea, you know. I just want to mix this in a bucket and throw it on the killer biochar I just got from West Marin Orchards, you know. And, you know, for sure, like, people use Boogie Brew that way because they won't brew it. It'll be a sample tea. Smell that. How's that?
Oh man, it smells nice.
Real sweet.
Strong.
Has it got that ripe smell yet?
It smells like some kind of food I eat.
Yeah, the 1-part tea is amazing. It really is. for a minute. Oh, that's good, yeah. So, but in another week,
coffee.
yeah, but imagine if you're a stoner like me, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get the Boogie Bro deal on like 10 of these 20-pound boxes. I'm going to, you know, stock up for next year's entire veggie patch and my medical garden.
Well, you should only buy it when you need it, because, man, that bag's going to break down.
But I'm like that with my bike tires.
But it's probably good it's breaking down, because it's letting you know that, hey, this stuff is active.
I'll be OCD. I've got gardener customers who are OCD about buying Boogie, and they stock up. Because they know how to multiply by the Josh factor. They know they might not get it if they want a bunch of it. For whatever reason, people want to be able to just, you know, stock this stuff for the winter, and when they're ready to activate some killer biochar, then they have stable ingredients instead of a burned out tea or a ripened out tea. Whatever, fermented out.
I'll definitely agree with that.
It's just too active and too
dude.
It's
better
more
because
more stability.
It's stable.
You know,
I agree with that one.
And I mean, what are the microbes in?
But people offer options, man. They could either get this one or this.
You know what? If there's room in there, and if the postmaster with a nod and a wink will take it at 20.5 pounds instead of 20, our scales were off, you know, we'll try and slip a sample Boogie tea in.
And then people could do what they want, man.
People get sample Boogie tea.
But if you're going to do it quick, use this one. If you're going to do it later, use this one.
Just use this one, you know, save this for the plants, wait till their roots are happening. There's no root zone for this to colonize. All you're trying to do is colonize the carbon condominium with a bunch of carbon digesting organisms, and you've got so many billions of those in any good wood chip compost.
Yeah, but people can't get wood chip
compost. Any good worm casting that make your own Johnson Su. More of my customers are now making their own Johnson Su compost.
That's cool. That's the way.
That's the way. And more of you are doing Boogie bins, you know, vermi bins, making your own castings. It's the only future we have. So if they can do it in a little town like Nicasio without the dust being a nuisance, they were impressed how quickly Leah and I loaded it all up. And we were impressed with how just perfect, you know, the moisture content. So
yeah, no, the moisture content's excellent,
crucial,
dude.
Yeah.
Especially on the biochar. I'm really impressed it's not just dried out and nasty, dusty.
So we need to get busy unloading this, and then finish unloading for Seth his, and then the rest of the bio that we're keeping at our shop, and go get some more of this compost. Because when compost is good, you gotta hunt it down.
You gotta stock up.
And it's the same, like I said about with my bike tires. You know, when IRC makes a good batch with the Rice brand in them of my favorite road bike tires, the only ones that are stoner proof, that seal against punctures, the tubeless road tires, I stock up on them because I've ran out of them before, and all the other tires are a joke. Those are the only good for you bike geeks out there. IRC, International Rubber Company out of Japan, for the road bike tubeless stoner proof, not one flat in over 18,000 miles of riding on those things. So anyways, but back to boogie farming instead of boogie biking. I'm due for a ride, as you can tell. Weed is my speed after 420. Let's get this stuff unloaded, John.
All right, we're going to get this unloaded. We're going to come back at you a little bit when I go to the Boogie Bunker and we show you all the products that they'll be now offering in their amazing 20-pound box deal. All right, Joshua, I want to talk more about the EV real quick because I'm a big fan of EVs, and I think everybody out there watching should go EV, because once you go EV, you won't go back. I mean, I started with a Leaf, then I got a Tesla, and now I got a Bolt.
A Leah me down Bolt.
Leah me down Bolt, actually.
And that was the first
which I love, actually, except for this lack of charging. You know, and I use it around town for the Bolt, and then my long trips for the Tesla, because I got unlimited charging for free because I'm grandfathered in because I got an older Tesla Model S.
That was smart.
So with this van, you could drive maybe 2.5 hours, but then you got to sit there and charge for like how long before you could even go somewhere again, man? And how does that work into your schedule? I know when I go on a long trip, when I stop every, you know, couple hours, I stop to go pee and I have a nice break to eat.
Yep.
What do you do, Josh, when you stop?
You already busted me. You know damn well what I do when I have to stop, you know.
Wait, is that legal?
I hotbox my van. Hey, I'm my co-driver. I was
your
my co-driver. You know?
Right,
yeah, and we have, like I said, when we went to the heirloom show, and when we ended up camping that week, because there were so many stops
in the
driving
van. Yeah, you
miles,
had your bunk beds in here.
Yeah, we had the bunk bed. We had like 4 trade show worth of product, and the other vans that they're doing with the bigger batteries, they're not as efficient. They're heavier. They won't allow you to do a 10,000 pound.
Because your battery weighs less, you could actually put more product, but you have to stop more.
Less is more.
Got it.
And it's an excuse to stop for a safety session. You know, I'm not getting any younger. My bladder usually is telling me when to stop, and it's kind of how I work, John. You know, I'll work hard for a few hours and stop and take a safety session and relax. You know, where are we all rushing to in life? Are we rushing to the grave? Like, is time really that important versus the cost? It would be several $100s. And those other vans I was saying, like the new Sprinter van, the new Ram van, and even Chevy's Brightside van, I could be wrong about that one. Those have barely made any, but those don't allow you the payload that this does. And if you wanted to carry this kind of payload with some sexy new Rivian, Cybertruck, Ford Lightning, by towing it, because certainly you wouldn't get this much in the bed. Like, it was no joke as they watched us at the landscaping at the Nicasio Materials yard as we hand loaded in an hour. We were done by 4:20.
Wow.
The guy was like, "Oh, you're not going to get out by 5. You know, I'm not going to sell you 4 yards." And
here's the thing I learned, man. You could either have them dump it in a truck, you take it home and you unload it.
Yeah.
Or you could load it in bags at the place, put it in your car, and then when you take each bag out and dump it where you need it. So it basically just shifts where you're unloading
shifting the
it,
work, exactly.
Shifting the work where you're going to do it later, where you're doing it first instead of later. Because when you get home, you're like, I don't want to take all the crap out of my truck.
Our shippers are gonna love this at the biochars. You know, they don't have to use a forklift across the street at our storage and pull out on a whole pallet, you know, a whole super tote of this, which we do in Humboldt. We'll have a forklift up there at the Boogie Bulk facility, load 2 totes, and this thing handles it great. This has independent, like super supple suspension that the gas burning vans don't give you such a quality ride. They all have the ancient leaf spring technology. I mean, this thing is like a dream space mobile driving her home for $40.
And quiet.
Yeah.
And yeah, so like.
It's amazing, as Nicholas, remember Nicholas used to say, it's
Nicholas,
amazing,
right.
you know, like it is really amazing. I'm still, a year later, after we bought it for heirloom. If they hadn't moved to Ventura, we wouldn't have this van.
Wow.
The ultimate boogie transpo machine. Complete with a bunk bed, power on board. We were there for 5 nights, you know, with the fairgrounds all to ourselves. So, hey, you know, live it up. Make lemonade out of the lemony situation. Have to stop every 120, 140 miles. BFD, man. Like, compared to...
It's saving you money over gas, and you're not
so
contributing to the carbon emissions as does gas at the point of use.
I mean, Leah got that Bolt, the white one that you now drive, in 2017. And I was hysterical. I was like, honey, you know, we run a small biz, you know.
That was your first electric car, right?
It was hers, you know, and she taught me. I was like, man.
It's the way. If you are have to drive, I mean, walking or biking is better. Absolutely.
Oh, you mean
or public transportation.
Right, I mean, because last time she delivered was on the trike, right?
Yep.
Yeah, now you're getting the van load here, you know, so this is just sort of like the trike on steroids. But we use the trikes up in Humboldt, between the Boogie Barn up on the hill and down in the floodplain produce meadow. So, yeah, I mean, live free or drive to begin with. I wish trains could come back. We're woefully behind the whole damn world. Shame on us for annihilating the world's greatest railroad network. Shame on you, Firestone Tire, and Standard Oil, and General Motors for conspiring and actually being convicted by the federal government to bust up the railroad unions and overthrow the railroads. One more thing, going back to the trucks, if you were to tow this much, guess what? How many of those charging stations between here and Humboldt allow for a vehicle with a trailer?
Like none.
None.
They haven't designed that into the charging stations.
Right,
really.
So for the price that we paid for this van and what it delivers to you, you know, with Josh and his bike too, like when I go to Humboldt, and a bunk bed when we have to travel further, you know, whatever it takes, at as low of a price point as possible. And yeah, give us your comments. You know, the haters are going to hate, you know, and that's fine. If you're going to be dicks because you think the only way to transport these materials is using oil the way it's already been done for the last 13 years.
And how it gets to you after it leaves Josh's place.
You know, I remember back in the day, like I got Millie Poo beat on a train and it took 6 weeks and that was worth waiting for because it was lower cost, number one, and it was a more sustainable option, number two. And those are the things. We need to go back to a more patient era, you know, and where are we all rushing to? Yeah, oh, you have to stop more and charge it. Well, BFD, I get to stop and chill, you know? It's still... Anyway, thanks for letting me rant again. I owe you all for therapy. We'll continue this discussion. We'll do more deliveries. That's our little transport, you know, nerding out session, logistics talk. Eventually, you'll get your Boogie Brew and, you know, whatever, robo-taxis and drones. I mean... You know, look at those Rivian guys. On Sunday, when we went out by American Canyon, there were like 500 of them in a row, delivering to everyone in Marin. Hey, that's 500 less vehicles of gasoline, you know?
The Amazon Rivian trucks.
Amazon Rivian. If you go on a Sunday morning out to American Canyon by Napa, out off of
that's
the
where
one...
the warehouse is.
Yeah, you go out there at a certain time, and they're all leaving the warehouse around the same time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see them in Vegas.
And they're all coming, I mean, entire, I'm talking fleets,
It's
like
cool.
dozens and dozens.
I mean, Walmart's using like e-vans like this for local deliveries
this
too.
is the future of transport,
Yeah.
whether
you want to face it or not.
Yeah, you know. And Leah, she's already like up at our property in Humboldt. She's put in, you know, an off-the-grid capable battery system, which we're going to expand with more solar and so on. Like, we have to do that. We have to, like, take the money you spend on whatever the heck, you know, vacations, cruise ships, God forbid, flying to places you don't need to. Spend it on green energy. And of course, there's going to be people saying, well, that's not green. I agree. It's still a big green lie, but it's less of the evil than the chemotocracy, than the
and the gas companies.
The petrotocracy that I'm ashamed of myself, you know. Shame on us all that it's gotten this
Good,
bad.
better, best, guys. All right, so now we're here in the Boogie Bunker World Headquarters of Boogie Brew. We got Josh here, and we got all these packages, all these boxes, and this is the all-new Boogie Bulk Box. It's going to save you guys money so that Josh does not have to raise his rates. And it's actually thanks to one of you guys, and I came up with the term, the maximum soil health for the minimum price. All right, so Josh, why did you come up with these boxes as your new shipping solution to save people money?
Yeah, we've been, you know, making less and less. Not that we ever...
Because you haven't raised your prices,
Right.
And everybody else is raising their prices.
Yeah, that's because, as you all know by now, I'm insecure. I want everyone to like me. I try too hard, and people have all been telling me, you need to raise your prices.
I've been telling them forever. Dude, you need to raise your price. You're going to go out of business, man.
I mean, our prices...
Paying a fair wage and everything you do.
Our prices on materials have gone up, for sure. A lot,
So
in some
you're
cases.
taking a lesser profit these days.
Well, like a good example would be the brew kit, which is always sold as not a loss leader, but like an IBM business model, if you will. Like,
get them involved in compost tea so that they keep buying from you, hopefully.
well, yeah, and so the brew kit, like the pumps from Hydrofarm, my God, I mean, they used to cost us around, you know, under $30 was our cost, and now they're up around 40 something. I mean, our cost. I remember you used to be able to go to Santa Rosa Hydro back in the day and buy one at retail for that price. So just the pump, you know, the air stones, like the hardware for sure. Yeah, everything. The filters, we pay more for those.
And so tell us how you're going to actually lose money on an East Coast customer that wants to do a bulk order from you.
Yeah, so we had an East Coast customer, loyalty over royalty. You know, we appreciate them wanting to support us and buy in bulk from us. We're really, our business is, I mean, we do some bulk, but the ideal customer is going to be an heirloom gardener. You know, a small, prized food forest backyard grower, probably maxed out. The biggest grow they do would be like what you do. But we do have some bulk, and we always try to service their needs. And sometimes I tell people more often than not, look, just go get your own locally sourced materials, check the open source Boogie Brew recipe, find organic soy meal, find local compost that doesn't have animal slaughterhouse byproducts in it, that is clean and green, you know, get good worm castings, make your own. Do the workhorse teas, you know.
That's what I do myself, man. I mean, I use some of your stuff added in with my local stuff and compost I make.
Yeah.
But I'm not like relying only on your stuff, man.
Let's go back to what you asked me, which was the customer that
I want to buy in bulk.
Precipitated this decision. He asked for 50 boxes.
Wow, that's more than I take.
Actually, it would be more than 50 boxes. 50 of the 28 pound, also 28 quart. Most of our stuff, like Boogie Base in this case, a quart weighs a pound. So 28 quarts, 28 pounds. He asked for 50 of those. Now, back in the day when those U.S. Postal board game boxes...
Right, yeah, that I got you turned on to back in the day. You could fit what, how many of those?
4 of these.
4 of those?
Yeah, would slide just perfectly.
Right,
You know, we'd stand there and
it'd be heavy as heck, man, and the post office would eat it probably.
And I'm sure some of you remember, you know, some of you long-term viewers and Boogie customers remember getting board game boxes, and so most of our packages that are on the website still
Are designed for that.
are still designed
But
around
they
that.
discontinue that because they're probably losing money.
Probably because of us.
Well, and other people.
Yeah, like using it for the purpose it wasn't originally.
Like a board, they wanted to ship board games that didn't weigh a lot, and we're shipping soil products at a flat rate fee all around the country.
And it was all his idea. He's the one that started the board game.
Hey man,
box.
you gotta get people the most affordable products at the best prices, and you gotta use the tools out there, man, to make it happen.
Yeah, you were.
And so I was glad that you were able to do that to get all these amazing soil products, because man, people can't find. I was out in Missouri. Like, there's no good garden shops there where they got all these organic products. You're like, who are you kidding?
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, the customer he wanted 50 of what would have been back in the day 4 7-pound bags, 7-quart bags. About 7 quarts fills these.
And that would have been good. You could have done that because of the flat rate box.
Not the Caliwana castings. He wanted Boogie Base, as I said. So in that case of his Boogie Base, I did the math, and he's in Pennsylvania, and I realized, holy S, I'm losing money on shipping.
So you're going to have to finally raise your rates.
Right, and so, you know, as you've heard me say, 2 choices in married life, happy or right, only she gets to be both. Leah, the boogie boss, you know.
You gotta have some cojones, Josh.
Yeah,
Come on, you're the man, right?
Well, she's the reason we have a business. I mean, she started Boogie Brew. She's the real reason Boogie Brew is successful. Not the stoner that's talking about
that just wants to give everything away and just and have you like them.
Right. And she's always been great with numbers. So this is, you know, wow. We're realizing that on bulk Boogie now. For some reason, we don't sell that much bulk Boogie Base. We sell way more like bulk castings, or not even bulk, just, you know.
But nonetheless, it's going to creep up on
so,
you because they keep raising the shipping rates every couple times a year these days.
Right. I mean, because your customers, my customers, your viewers, you all are probably thinking, well, why did it take you this long to realize you're losing money?
Because he's a stoner, dude. You saw he hotboxed earlier in this video.
Because I was, because I got hotboxed. But no, seriously, it's just like, oh, you know, someone needs this much, and they're usually a good customer, and they're buying tea.
And you're just gonna do it because you want people to have good soil.
Right.
And it's more important to you for you guys to have good soil than for him to make a little bit of money.
I mean, take the cast.
And in the world, what is more important, good soil or money? Soil is more important than money, guys.
Oh yeah, no,
and girls.
I've been saying it for years. You know, soil over oil, and our economy runs on oil, but our economy should run on soil. And this should have like, you know, a Boogie bit. You know,
they should make it free to ship soil and organic products.
There should be like Boogie Bitcoin, you know, currency. I've said this I said it to Steve Cantwell where I interviewed him at the first Soil Life Summit, and I asked him, do you think soil should be a currency? And he really gave a thoughtful look, like, wow, never thought of that, you know, and I can see that in our lifetime. And I think for many of you, a healthy soil is an investment. For sure it's an investment. If it's not an actual...
It should raise your property value. They don't even consider that.
It's a more valuable capital, you know? Like, food's going to keep going up in price, so that's an inflation
You're hedging your bets against inflation, when you have good soil, because you have the powerhouse in there to grow your own food, more nutritious food, healthier food than the industry is providing.
It's your ultimate investment fund.
Absolutely.
And that's why, you know, like, all the farmers or the weed growers that call me that are addicted to deadrients, because that's the only way they know how to do it. Only dummies use deadrients, don't use deadrients. But they have this like mindset of feeding the plant. But remember, you're feeding the soil.
That feeds the plants.
That
feeds the bacteria. Yeah. That feeds the food so well.
Even Boogie Brew with admittedly high grade plant feeding nutrients like the soy aminos, the kelp, the soy meal. It's still primarily those foods are feeding the microbes in the tea.
That make them go crazy, but then feed the plant.
Part of that whole web, the cycle, microbial cycle. So if you can just remove that mindset of the MPK BS and just focus on feeding soil, and that is the ultimate investment fund that, like, if you're grumbling about how much you just spent on biochar.
Or on food. I mean, do you guys go out and buy food that you buy at the store, you eat it, it's gone. Boom. You got to go to the store next week. You are dependent on the store, whether the store shut down like some COVID stuff, right? There's store shelves are empty. You build your soil, you always are going to have currency in the soil because you can plant some seeds, plant some plants, or have hopefully perennial fruit trees and vegetables, more importantly, and grow food year round where you just go out and harvest the food, eat it. It is always there.
S&S, seeds and soil, the two most valuable, investment capital accounts, that you can possibly keep funding. So, and like in the case of biochar, that's a one-time investment, right? Like I tried to sponsor TD again. We just went and got all that biochar. And he's like, I already have it. It's in there, it's already in there.
And it's probably better because it has been in there and it's aged and it's gotten microbes homes and it's not just virgin biochar.
Yeah, he had bought quite a bit of good quality biochar a year or two ago, or added a bit more. He got it right there at the 5% quotient for his holes. And sure enough, if you go digging in there, you can see the little shiny. You can always spot the good biochar with these little reflective black shiny bits, that are going to be in there. So that is a great example of a one-time soil building investment fund.
Yeah, that's going to then same thing. Similar rock dust is similar. It doesn't break down that quickly. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, biochar. They dig it up from Terra Preta down in the Aztec,
South America.
And find this whole vein of this rich black char-like, steamed wood substance, and hundreds of years later, it's still obviously aiding in this fabulously healthy soil web down there. So anyway,
invest in your soil. So Josh, how are you not raising your prices and keeping your prices low so that people could order in bulk and actually invest in their soil?
Yeah. So going back to the whole example of how the gentleman wanted 50 of the 28 pounders. Now, the board game boxes used to cost me, $14. My bags with 4 in each, they used to cost me 30 cents a piece. These have doubled. The board game box, even before it ended, the priority mail, that went up. It's basically over 20, for a flat rate.
Amount. It started at 14 when you got started.
I think so. Yeah, 13, 14. So. The price for me to package up 4 of these,
and the labor's gone up. You're paying your guys.
Individual labels on each bag, all those things. The labels aren't cheap. And doing the math on this, and how can I, because he really wanted he's like, I'm doing this again, same mindset, same sensibility.
Putting money into the soil.
He's creating, he's like, I want this for my whole garden, for my whole food forest, for something as big as what you've got going on around your house, if not bigger. Your house is. And so I would like to be able to get him, the amount he needs. So I did the math, and I realized that shipping 20 pounders, so that's the deal now with the boxes we
through the post office. The deal is 20 pounds or less
on the ground,
in a ground box
on the ground,
and you get the discounted price.
Keep it
affordable for you guys.
Yeah, and then so I did the math, like I said. that hot box session in the van that we mocked up is still messing with my head. I'm not being very clear here, but I could afford to sell him the total amount, which was, what was that, 1,400 pounds or something of product, right? If I shipped him 70 of these,
70 boxes,
20 pounds
At
each.
that point, man, you got to just do truck freight, man.
Instead of
put in a
instead of what would have been 100, because the whole thing about the board game box, it's gone. Even if it was around, it cost me more, and I have no box now that will allow me to put 4 of these
and fit it perfectly
and keep it under the affordable
20-pound
weight on the ground, right? And like I said in the van earlier, when we were sitting there BSing, we used to do everything priority mail. Now the only item we do priority mail is like a filter in a if it's just a filter with a sample tea, we can put that in a padded envelope. And on the West Coast, we actually will put it in a small box, because that's still cheaper than a padded envelope, and then that gives us more room to bonus the customer, to put like an extra frass in there and so on. So we hardly do any priority mail anymore. But that would have been with the way we've been doing 4 of these. 4 of these would have required me to do 2 of this size of box, right? Because this is great. It holds 2 of these perfectly. Yeah, and this size is really popular for 8 pounds of Boogie Base, 8 pounds of Boogie Boost, like a 16-pound tea fits perfectly in here. 8 pounds each of base and boost, or 14 quarts of frass, 14.
And that keeps you under the 20-pound weight limit.
Well, if it's 14, yeah, that's only 14 pounds. Or if someone buys one of these quite frequently, we even have a smaller box that this will perfectly. So these are still really handy for
smaller orders.
For smaller orders, yeah, for 7 quart or 14 quart. Or if somebody buys a 3-pound tea in a 7-pound frass, or in this case an 8-pound base, I can fit that into this one box. So this is still going to be a very shippable solution for us.
For the right stuff, when you're not ordering in bulk.
Right. So, instead of trying to do 4 base into 2
boxes, then pay 2 shipping charges.
Pay 2 shipping charges, which the cost on this box
and more packaging because you got the 2 boxes and you got 2 of the the compostable bags. And
we went through
4 labels.
Exactly. We kind of went over this in the van earlier. We're just regurgitating it all. I mean, I'm still we just literally in the last week came up with this, and then John happened to be in town, and he's like, Josh, let's get together and shoot a video. And I just happened to get a great deal on some biochar, and so now we got the Boogie Bio that we're going to sell with a tea activator, like I said in the van earlier. And it all just, it's all happening at once. This 2024 spring, around the week of 420, some great shipping solutions are happening for Boogie Brew and for you.
All right, Josh, so let's do a close-up on the box and show everybody what they're going to get and why this is so much more economical for them. Yeah. All right, Josh, so let's go ahead and focus in on the boxes. You guys have all these boxes. Here's the Boogie Black. Look at this stuff, guys. All full, all the way up to the brim with the Boogie Black, the black frass. Actually, I used it the other day because I made a planting mix. Worm castings, black frass with compost and rock dust and soil humates. That's what I put in every planting. So, dude, get back to these boxes. What's we got? We got Boogie Bio, California castings, Boogie Black, Boogie Humus, Boogie Boost, and Boogie Base. So it's this is all your main products, right?
Yeah,
you can buy in the Boogie Bulk Box, lowest price, maximum soil health.
It's so simple now. It's holy smokes.
And then what's these bags, right? They're compostable too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the BioBags.
And so they add less weight, so you have more product.
Well, yeah, that's how we can maximize. Now, on the char's case, we realized it's still pretty light. It's a pretty solid char, dude. That's such a beautiful char.
That's a nice, look, it's just the right moisture because it sticks together and it's just not dust.
Yeah.
And just so neutral, man.
No, it's a great char. I'm really glad we found this and that we're able to get it here for pennies, Evan delivery, That's what all of these, everything here, Evan delivery, a lot of this original, the frass, the bulk, hummus, train delivery, and then Evan delivery,
Wow. These soil products, Josh, you don't understand this. Probably have the least carbon footprint of any of the other soil products out there.
Yeah,
because of your commitment to the environment.
Well, and
which is really cool.
and to keeping our prices low.
And to keep your prices low.
Yeah.
Because it's not truck delivered when he orders it to him, and then after he gets it, it's not even truck delivered. It is truck delivered, but it's e-truck delivered.
Yeah, Hunting Barons, like I said, I was bragging how Smart Train has a freight service that runs at night, and then the terminal does, I think, a terminal up at the airport. I should look into a warehouse space up there at Santa Rosa, Sonoma County Airport. But Hunting Barons, they have their own whole railroad tie-in, the ancient Petaluma Feed distribution company. So getting things like the organic soy meal via rail, that's an option, right? The frass, getting a whole bunch of it. That's an option.
So that may be important to some people out there, but for other people, they won't care. Yeah. But let's get back to the product, man. So these are 10 by 10 boxes, and that's a 12 by 12 because it weighs less, so you get a little bit more volume. But it's a lighter product.
Yeah, and they still will allow it. I think most people care. Most people do.
Want to max out your weight of the product, man.
On the eco delivery.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
you said some people don't.
No, some people do. Like, if you dude, come on, Josh. Most people don't care about. I mean, we're in California, Josh. I grew up here. You grew up where it's sustainable over in Europe and stuff.
I want your comments. How many of you give a damn about how your products got delivered to you and the carbon footprint?
Yeah, reducing the carbon footprint. I mean, for eco-conscious people, it's important. Like, I eat a low-footprint diet. Right. One of the many reasons why I do that.
I mean, how many of you disagree with me on this statement? Everything we are doing is so wrong. And we are all trying so hard to do everything so wrong. Tell me, am I being outlandish? Am I being freakish? Am I being Josh the ranting stoner, environmental crusader, beating that drum again? Am I being too angst-ridden, or am I telling the freaking truth? Which is absolutely everything we are doing is so wrong, and we are all continuing to try so hard to keep our heads in the sand and continue to do everything so wrong.
A lot of people out there might say you're a Lib-Tard.
Hate away. You know, anyone who wants to say that, you can, to make it political, that's just...
It's wrong.
It's so wrong. It's so
wrong.
You know, when I
agree.
I moved here from the UK in the 80s. I'm a Yank. I was born here, raised in the UK. Came back out here as a teenager. I had a Republican.
It shouldn't even be about. It shouldn't even be right or left, dude. It should just be about the planet, man.
Right. So
screw all this other crap.
All right. So let me, elaborate on that. In that, I was already kind of a refugee from Maggie Thatcher's Britain. All right, and I already sort of fancied myself as an idealistic young little, eco-cycling. I was a bicycle bum already, and I came out here and I became friends with my neighbor, and he was hardcore Ronald Reaganite, right? And
dude, Reagan was a good guy.
Yeah, no, and blue collar and
he was a good guy back in the day. Things have changed a lot since then.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
my neighbor in Petaluma, he and I agreed to disagree on our strongly opposing political beliefs.
And that's a good thing. We don't do that anymore, unfortunately.
Right. We agreed to disagree, and we got along. We weren't trying so hard to just...
be right.
Right. And he would have his... he'd be out there having a barbecue. I'd come over with my tofurkey, He'd be drinking his Budweiser. I'd come over there with... Well, they didn't have kombuchas back then. I forget what it was. My glass of carrot juice in my hand, right? And we'd agree to disagree, and we had each other's backs. And he was a solid amigo, neighbor whom I could trust and see eye to eye with. Well, now, fast forward 35 years, we'd want to kill each other. I'm generalizing.
And people do kill each other,
right.
Take out their gun. There's somebody drove my driveway, boom.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is that?
Somebody what? They deliberately...
Oh, yeah, people come to somebody's door and then you get shot. It's an insane world. I mean...
It's
insanity,
the Chevy Bolts that we drove, the Boogie Bolts as we call them that we drive. I barely drive. I try not to drive. Live free or drive. A sticker on all the bikes that says that. But Leah, she commutes, to Marin. She does dentistry nowadays, and she spends a lot of time on the highway.
Because Boogie Brew's not paying all the bills here at the Boogie household.
No, because it's because she suffers a disease, careeritis. Okay, she's good at everything she does, including starting a small business with her husband 14 years ago. But in any case, we're digressing. She's being bullied, by jerks in trucks. I got my big truck. What are you little EV? Like this, a rolling coal. There you go. Like, that never happened in the 80s. Guys in diesel trucks deliberately rolling coal, like clouds of smoke, coming out of their exhaust pipe. Like, when did that start? Like, and doing it on her, in her EV, All
right, Josh, you're digressing. We're talking about soil delivery products. So what is your question that people want to ask before we get too off track, man?
I always get... no, I was saying...
Because I think it is an important thing that what Josh is doing, because, really, other companies don't really care about these things.
Nobody gives a damn.
Exactly. And I always encourage you guys, good, better, best. Do the best you can, man. If you could... drive an EV or even take less trips, and when I leave my house, which is not too often, I'll go to 10 stops in one day, and then for the rest of the week, I don't leave my house.
I mean, I am proud of our, e-van delivery that we do and so on, but it's still,
It's a drop in the bucket.
And it's still a big green lie, as I referred to it earlier.
Good, better, best. Once again, man, it's a step in a better direction, in my opinion. I mean, you can of course agree with my opinion.
In our opinion. So we want the haters, you know, like, come on, call me that Lib-Tard. I don't care. All I know is I'm keeping my marriage healthy. I'm keeping my business. You know,
trying to keep the planet as healthy as you can too. At the same time, man.
We're not in debt. You know, we're not getting wealthy, but you all give me the emotional currency that makes me feel like a boogie billionaire versus the back taxes I owe the more sales I do, you know. So that's what matters. Health is our wealth, you know, including the health of our planet and how we do everything, you know. Yes. So, yeah, countless the whole reason it came up was like you said, oh, there may be some of you that don't care about that.
No, I'm sure there are, dude.
That's lame.
So many, how many people order Amazon Prime 2-day delivery for one small $5 item just so you could have it the next day or the same day delivery instead of going on your Prime delivery day and have all your items delivered at once?
Not many of the Boogie customers, because nobody has grumbled since we switched to ground shipping. You know, we used to do priority and get a box, you know, 28-pound board game box that's non-existent.
Well, that's because they know if they order direct from you, man, they're getting the freshest stuff. And if they order from Amazon, it's been sitting in the Amazon warehouse for a little bit.
Good point. Good
point. Know,
and
then you have a better quality product that's more biologically active, that's then going to better affect your garden.
Even the climate here, you know, is more conducive than some.
I mean, I've gotten things from Amazon or like vitamins, and they're just spoiled because they don't like manage the heat in the delivery trucks or their warehouses or whatever.
Sitting in some hot warehouse in Arizona. Yeah. That's a good point. But yeah, the reason I brought it all up is so no one's complained in the last 2 years since the discontinuation of the priority mail options that we used to use all the time. And we have a lot of long-term customers, like loyalty over royalty. Thank you so much, you know, for your.
Well, it's because we're all gardeners. We're down to earth. We're connected with the earth, and we're not like we don't need everything yesterday,
right?
Like most of society.
So we do really appreciate that. We really do. And we hardly ever get bugged like, where's my order? You know, maybe 1 or 2 messages a month. And we get really busy, like where it might take us another day or 2 to get it out, usually same-day shipping. But yeah, with the ground, you know, it takes a week now instead of 3-4 days like it used to with priority mail. But no complaints. No one's long-term. None of you have said, Josh, we used to get our castings from you in 3 days. Now it's taking a week. Like, what happened? Like, not one has ever said that. So we know that is not an issue. But we still had the whole model of what you and I were talking about with the multiple bags.
Yeah, you still had the old model going and trying to sustain the same pricing.
All these bags and you know, putting 4 of these together. So what you're getting with a box of... well, this is hummus. Where's the bulk hummus? Okay, what you're getting with a box of hummus.
All right, we'll compare them, Josh.
You're getting
this whole box of hummus right here.
That's 20.
Filled up, 20 pounds.
This is 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're getting 3 of these.
Lift some weights.
Yeah. And we sell hummus right now as a 21-pounder because it used to ship with an additional.
Oh, because you would ship 4 in the flat rate box.
No, we did 3, and then the option of adding like 4 pounds of fries.
I see.
Yeah, but the other ones, like the castings, 4 of the 20 of the 8-pounders. You guys get the drift, all right? We've already talked about it. I'm not going to bore you to tears with the numbers. So yeah, you're actually getting a little less, but it's 1 box instead of...
it's a lesser price.
Yeah, right.
You're saving money on it.
It's going to allow me
to not raise your prices so that you have to deal with inflation like every other company out there, so they can still get the same product at the same price from when you started?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
13 years ago prices today because you're going to this new packaging that's more efficient and ground shipping instead of air.
We've become...
And you're doing train deliveries and e-van deliveries where you save money over buying gas.
Well, unfortunately, you know, a lot of the stuff we get is still coming on trucks.
Yeah,
but
until you get it.
When I make a bulk investment, multiple pallets of ingredients, we get it by train.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, this stuff is full, man.
And to me, like I said, you know, the great...
This is the hummus. Good hummus stuff.
Yeah, nice. So... anyway, you get the drift. That's why we're doing this. And it's more eco, all right? Even like I said earlier in the van, I was talking about the polylactate liner. It's not
And in these bags here.
Those are just a starch, a non-GMO cornstarch, a cellulose that they use to make these.
So here's a caveat, guys. This will break down faster than that will.
Yes, it will. But these break down too. Like people will find these in their garage and.
But like if you buy them in bulk and then you let it sit a while, don't be don't be concerned when you lift the bag up
and little shreds
and shreds come out and like the stuff leaks. So
you should actually be proud of that. That means you have a very active boogie box,
right? Because it's actually breaking down and composting the liner.
It means the cellulose degraders
are working,
and you've got all the
you're degrading the cellulose.
Yeah, you've got your chitin degraders, and chitin is. That's a hard substance. So imagine for the microbes that are in the frass, right? Billions of them, by the way. Talk about like a dominator box of badass bio. They are going to look at this like it's just a pre-meal snack. Their their chitin is a...
And then they're going to start working on the cardboard.
They probably
and if it's been in there too long to break down this and the cardboard, you should have used the product by then.
We pay more to get our labels printed with soy inks. Unfortunately, the back of the label does have an evil glue. You see what I mean? We live in a freaking chemotocracy. You cannot escape it. You can do everything you can to minimize it. An organic cotton t-shirt.
Josh, if you're a hardcore man, you could have your own regular paste glue that's like all plant-based, and then you could just print this out on paper, slap the glue on, slap the label on, boom, out the door.
I mean, it just shows you. How 3M owns the sticky. 3M owns anything sticky.
I don't know about that.
They do.
Chinese companies these days.
Well, I'm generalizing, but yeah, I mean, it does, okay, 3M or their evil equivalent.
Yeah.
And have people, how many of you seen the documentaries about the 3M town? Where is it? In Missouri, somewhere.
All right, Josh, so now that you got all these bulk boxes, what is the best value for the buck in the bulk? Like, I have my own opinions, but what would you say for people?
Boogie base.
You think the base is still the best, huh?
Yeah.
Just because you combine all the ingredients into one.
Yeah, it's ironic how much hummus we sell and castings.
Because this is the hummus with the castings, with everything else in there.
And now we're going to launch, the Boogie Bio, and for some reason you all are fixated on getting, the individual components more than just buying it all pre-mixed, which is odd, but I respect you all. Maybe you have. It's because a lot of you have your own components of an ideal boogie base.
Like maybe they have their own worm castings, so they don't need your casting. They don't want it in your product pre-mix. They use their local castings.
Right.
Hey, but they can't get the biochar, so now they could buy your biochar, add it with their worm castings, add it with their local compost.
Yeah.
And then they can't get black frass, so then they get your Boogie Black Frass too.
Right.
That's what I do actually. I source stuff locally and then fill in with what I get from you, actually.
Just the right amount of frass is now in the base, not too much to overwhelm it. So when you buy base, you are even getting some frass in there, enough to really kick it to the stratospheric bio level. But yeah, that is very true. A lot of you have your own Johnson Zoo bioreactor, super nerded out composting systems in your backyards now. And so you make your own, or you get wood chips and you let them degrade for a year or two. Don't forget, my top tip for wood chip is to find a local beer hop yeast mash, a beer brewery that's a waste product to the beer industry. Get those spent beer hop yeast mash batches. Just show up with a bucket at your local microbrewery. Say, I want this before the pig farmers get it. It's very high. That yeast is very high in protein. But it's an enzyme bath. And it will just break that wood chip down into the awesomest hummus. I mean, that's what we do in Humboldt with our hardwood orchard hummus. We break it down further, let it sit there and age, and soak it in Eel River Brewing Company's organic beer hop yeast mash. But I'm digressing. The best bang for the Boogie Bulk box, in my opinion, is a box of Boogie Base. Which is ironic that this all started because of a customer wanting 50 of the ultimate premix premier, Boogie Base. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people buy the Boogie Hummus when they can get the Boogie Base. Because worms make the finest hummus on earth.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the char's in there, just the right amount of frass. There's some minerals in there, some C90s in there, just the right amount, pinch. And so... to me, like, I mean, smell them. Go ahead and take a whiff of everything, and you tell me, because I always say, you know, a microscope will not tell you what your nose will tell you. So they all smell good, huh? I mean,
that one didn't smell nothing.
Right.
Actually, I like the smell of the frass. When you call me weird.
Why do you always like the smell of the frass? Because it smells like.
I don't know. It just smells like
what
earthy.
What rhymes with frass?
No, dude, this actually smells good.
Okay, yeah, that one does smell good.
It smells like.
You know what?
It smells like something I could eat. Actually.
You know what? The EnviroFlight frass, I've come to
next
really
level,
appreciate
dude.
it.
It's
It is
next level.
You know, people.
It's not like the old
the Entera.
frass. The Entera was like that.
Terra had
like
that ass smell, huh? Yeah.
This doesn't. This smells
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, because I mean they feed this to animals. Like,
Well, but Entera was also thermogenically, composted. So I don't know, but some people still want the Entera. You know, they're like, hey, I miss that stuff. You know, so
here's my opinion, Josh, on which one of these is the best, really. So I mean, Josh will say his Boogie base. What I will tell you guys, honestly, it's this: you need the one that you don't got. Maybe you got everything except you got everything except the char.
Yeah, maybe
that's the one you need because you already got worm casting. You got worm casting, skip that one, man. But if you don't got the frass, get the frass. If you don't got good castings, get the castings, man. If you don't got good hummus, get the hummus. And of course, if you don't got none of them, get the base.
These right here are not BioBags. That's just because in order to fit, like the char is a 12, 12, 12. To get 20 pounds in here, and this is the biggest size we can ship with the Postal Service, volume-wise. And
that's 1 cubic foot.
So
12,
we're
12.
using the feed sack. We have a few hundred of these feed
and
sacks.
Reuse the feed sack bags, guys.
But I'll get a bigger BioBag. I will find the next size up a BioBag. Because this is taking up unnecessary volume.
Space,
yeah, that would allow
a little
you
bit
to
too big.
put some. Actually, it fits perfectly, even for adding the activator. Like I said, the char will ship with activator. Activator is just going to be Boogie Base and Sucanat, my favorite super sugar, the anti-Boogie bricks.
And let's talk about, Josh, along with these bulk Boogie boxes, they're also going to get like instructions sheet, right? To tell more about each one and how to use it.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Because that doesn't currently come with your current packaging.
Yeah, so instead of shipping 4 bags of Boogie Bio, the biochar, we'll do 1 box of 1 label. Instead of using 4 of these expensive labels, I can just do 1 label. And that allows us to do what we don't do with these, because that would be a pain in the ass, putting, you know, a
instruction sheet in every little one.
and also it would just get, So, and there'll be a cheat sheet with all the new 20-pound Boogie boxes. All the bulk boxes will have a cheat sheet for how to best utilize
that ingredient.
So
like adding the the char to your compost or activating it. This exact percentage, for example, or to
just
add
tips.
this percentage to like your compost, your planting hole with the Boogie frass.
Just tips on the stuff we've learned from you all. Help me compile my cheat sheets. Send us your tips on like what would a cheat sheet look like for biochar benefits. Or should I just ask ChatGPT to make me?
Why don't you can't always trust ChatGPT?
Exactly.
Call a biochar expert like Josiah Hunt.
I mean, we already share. Countless customers request this stuff. I love Google Keep. I use Google Keep religiously. It allows me to just share. Ask me a question about Boogie products. Chances are I've saved the answer because it's a question I've heard multiple times, and I've saved the answer in my Google Keep, and I'm happy to share it with you. Our phone number is still the same.
What is it?
It's 707-992-5172. Who are you going to call to make your plants stay true to you, Anyway, the Boogie number is a Google Voice number. It's a stoner-proof way to get a hold of me because Leah will see the messages. You can text it and say, hey, I want your cheat sheet on like the Master Mark recipe. I want
everybody keeps emailing me or messaging me for that. They need to message you. And the link is in the video that I made with Josh.
I like over communicating is better than lack of. So it's for me it's an opportunity to bond with you when someone reaches out and blast a bunch of propaganda your way. Be careful what you wish for. If you want to learn some stuff about frass, well then I'm going to send you a virtual white paper on the benefits of the Boogie Black. But you're all information junkies, and that's why you tolerate us and our babble sessions. Even when I digress and start talking about how we as a society need to change and the chemotocracy we all live in. So I do appreciate you being such a willing audience. It means a lot to me. That's so much more important to me to get to talk to you all, at you all, than to make a buck I don't get to keep off of any of you. You know, much more important. And that's the greatest part about this relationship with my bro John, has been that opportunity to, you know, interact with you all. I liken this relationship, you've heard me say it now in another video, it's like a healthy microbial matrix in a living web of life soil. The fungal messenger pathways, the beautiful white root, you know, micro rootlet, little fungal hyphal chains communicating across the floor of a healthy redwood forest. Same thing with the relationship with you and your viewers and the Boogie tribe of customers. So much appreciated long term for my sanity, for my therapy. I'm a healthier person up here, instead of like maybe dreams of grandeur when I started Boogie Brew. We're gonna be Boogie billionaires someday, you know, and change the way everyone farms. Like we used to call it the future of farming. That's a pretty self-aggrandizing statement, you know. That's a pretty that's like, oh yeah, we're going big time. And realized over the years, when you're self-employed, you need to know your self-limits. He even has his limits on how many videos John can produce, right? And since I've known you, I've watched even you gracefully adapt to which your limits are far higher than mine, but everyone has a different, you know. And when you're self-employed, you better know what they are, what your self-limitations are. Otherwise, you might as well just fling yourself off a cliff of denial. You know, you're going to self-destruct if you try to be some big boy, badass, corporatocracy type. You know, I could never fake it till I can't make it as some corporate type. That's just not me.
Yeah, me neither.
But I did have, you know, some dreams of grandeur when I started Boogie Brew in 2010 with Leah. And thank goodness, realizing a bigger business is a bigger headache. And thank you all for not allowing it to be a migraine, but allowing it to be that I have time on 420, no less, you know, to be able to do this with John instead of worrying about, you know, fulfilling orders and so on. Like the business is still we're keeping it real. You're keeping it real.
All right, cool, Josh. So hey, if somebody wants to buy one of these amazing boxes, where do they get the GYG hookup price?
Same as always, boogiebrew.net/GYG. Remember to add the note at checkout for some
free protein,
some freebies. You know, say I want to try this, I want to try that. Sometimes we run out of protein, so don't be mad.
Then you might get tea.
Yeah, you might get a sample
Second
tea.
best.
You'll all, just say, you know what? Just say Boogie bonuses, please. Love watching you. You know, love you all. Whatever. Boogie love. You know, share the love. Share some Boogie love. Boogie bonuses. Blah blah. Whatever. Just put that note in there. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. We always do.
Yep. No, Josh is a good guy, man. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And once again, if you guys want to order any of these products in these boxes to get the best deal, get the best soil quality, the lowest Boogie Buck,
yep.
Order at boogiebrew.net/GYG. If you guys enjoyed this episode with Josh and I today, thumbs this video up. More importantly, share this with other people you think will enjoy it so that they can learn how to get some of the most ecologically sustainable products at the lowest prices delivered to you guys. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new upcoming episodes. I'm coming out every 5 to 7 days. You know I show up, always be learning on my YouTube channel. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to check out past episodes. I have many episodes on this channel, over 1,700 dedicated to teach you guys how to grow organically and take your garden to the next level. I'll post some of my favorite videos I've made with Josh in the past, including one of the ones where he talks about the Chemotocracy and getting off all the chemical nutrients, where we go to a grocery store. Deadrients. All right. This
is the DFZ, the Deadrient Free Zone. You got the DMZ, the Demilitarized Zone, and we are the Deadrient Free Zone, and so are you all, and we appreciate that so much. Yeah. So like he said, maximum bang for your Boogie Buck. Breathable, biodegradable, sensibly eco-packaged Boogie boxes, Evan delivery. As low of a carbon footprint as we can possibly do, the highest quality materials, maximum bang for your Boogie Buck. We're proud of you all for supporting us. We're trying to show the love in return and keep supporting you. So give me your feedback. Tell me what else I should do.
All right, sounds good, Josh. So with that, my name is John Kohler with GrowingYourGreens.com. We'll see you next time, and until then, remember, keep on growing.